All right.
All right, we're going to go. Okay, we're going to start. Are you ready?
What's my name?
No pressure.
No pressure. What's my name?
Who am I?
Hey, guys, it's Dustin.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
All right, so we have guests
Again,
but they're two instead.
Yeah.
So we're going to
fun.
introduce Julia and Allie to the podcast. You guys can, whoever go, it doesn't matter.
Hey guys.
Hi. Hey.
Welcome.
What's up? What's up?
So who wants to go first?
Well, why don't we start with how you know them?
Oh, okay, well, we can do that. So we went to this Christmas Ukrainian party. My friend Kat, she invited us. And so we went, and I actually didn't know that there were other people. She just said, hey, like, come, and we're like, sweet,
you have
whatever.
other friends?
Yeah, I was like, and so we went, and yeah, you two were there, and it was really fucking awesome. Like,
We made pierogies.
We made pierogies.
From scratch.
So many pierogies.
So many.
That's
it was
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah, we
Factory.
came. That's right.
Well,
we
that's the Ukrainian thing to do.
Yeah, we came in and you guys were making it too. So we were a little bit late, I think, and then you guys were making it, and then we hopped on and just helped. It was really cool.
So fun.
Bonded over some beet soup.
Yeah,
I believe that's called borscht.
Yeah.
It's very
Borscht.
good.
I was like, I can't remember the name. I'm not going to.
It's so good.
Oh, so you know about like the Ukrainian?
Well, my mom, her side is German Mennonite. So
okay.
Germans and Russians and Ukrainians and the Polish, they all have their different version of borscht and pierogies and all that stuff. So my grandma always used to make German borscht, and then my mom would make it, and it's delicious. It's like red.
Yeah.
It's got cabbage and beets and potatoes. It's
Yeah.
really good. It's really good.
Oh, that's really nice.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the soup actually. And you put like, what is it? Cream cheese or no?
Sour cream.
Sour
A little
cream,
dollop.
A little
Yes.
dollop. That's really cool.
Oh my God,
actually.
this is bringing me back right now. Nice.
Anyway, so dinner was made, and then we sat down, and then we just started talking, and you guys were talking about your work experience because Justin and I brought up the fact that we had a podcast about work experience, and then it just went from there.
Cool.
So we'll start off, where do you guys work right now?
I'm an accountant,
Perfect.
unfortunately.
I just asked, hey, do you do taxes? Yeah, I do.
Sure.
I'm doing my master's in geology.
Oh, good for you.
More unfortunate
Yeah.
behavior.
You were
No.
talking about how you were working on your paper, right?
Yeah, I'm like writing my thesis right now, which is like very dark time.
Yeah.
Um,
I did English in college at Red Deer in Alberta for I think 2 years, and that was rough. I suck at writing. Like to learn all of the like citing and all of that stuff was like there's like New York style.
So the
Dude, so
MLA,
many.
APA,
Yeah.
what is all that?
What is that?
Was
I
that
don't
like
even-
where you cite things at the bottom?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah,
like,
it's so
in
confusing.
text.
Footnote.
Yeah.
I
Footnotes.
hated that part of
Writing
university.
a thesis is like you think that you know how to do like basic things, and then you just like get it back, and you're like, oh wow, I can't even write a sentence.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Apparently, yeah. It was like a nightmare for me, but I think I learned some out of it. But I was mostly doing like painting and ceramics and shit. So like that was like elective. So I chose that because in my opinion, I view it as like a art style, and that's the only area in art that I'm fucking terrible at. So I was like, I'm going to do this. It was probably the worst mistake ever, but I still learned stuff out of it.
Oh, I used to remember that at university. Like you would work so hard on a paper, and you would put so much time into it, and
Yeah.
then you would get it back, and it
Nailed
looked
this
like
one.
it just got its period, and there's red all over it, and you're like, dude, thank you for shitting all over my fucking hard work.
Okay, I actually like almost had a breakdown last week because
I don't blame you.
You work
Yeah.
so hard.
You do.
And you give it to your supervisor, and you're like, I think I nailed it. And I get
Because if I didn't, my life is over.
I get an email back 2 days later that's like, I have a bundle of your paper covered in red ink. Or is it blood, sweat, and tears? Come pick it up and we can chat. And I was like,
Oh no.
He didn't even just like say it.
Can we swear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't even like, he just went like in full depth.
Well, it was like,
to just,
it was like full joke, but like it's hard to handle a joke when you're like so emotionally invested
Yeah.
in all these words, and you're just like, what is my life?
That's the shitty part, because I get emotionally invested in my artwork, and
Yeah.
because I go to work texturing and I get critiqued, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, can you fix this? It's hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, what did we decide it was? Okay, great.
okay, great. Fuck you.
Yeah, you have to just like put on your armor and just like take all the hits and be like, yeah, I absolutely, I do agree. And then
Yeah.
you go back to your office and you cry.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm done. I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, it's gonna, it's gonna make me better as an artist anyway. So I might as well just follow these people's bullshit advice. But I mean, they want it that way, they have to have it that way.
Yeah.
You get to the point too where it's like, where it's actually more so the clients want to have it a certain way rather than it actually being artistically good. So I'd put a whole bunch of energy making something look really good, but then they'll tell me to be like, oh, you got to tune that down, that's way too artsy, you have to make sure that's like a little bit more less stylized. I'm like, all right,
Okay,
great.
okay, great, okay, great.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know. But yeah, so I think like for you guys, I really loved your stories that you talked to us about at the Christmas party. So like let's dive into that
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
So whoever.
Should we give like a little summary of like who the hell,
Well,
why?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
go
Whatever
for it.
you feel like you should do.
Okay,
do it.
so Allie and I are both geologists. I used to be a geologist, since retired. It's a long story.
Yeah.
And then we moved out to Vancouver and
From where?
I'm from Montreal.
from Ottawa.
Nice.
Oh.
And you guys are cousins.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Like actual cousins.
Actually,
not like,
our mothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah.
We
Ottawa.
share blood.
I can kind of see a resemblance. Yeah. You can't always with cousins.
People either
No,
think
you
that
can't.
we're dating or sisters. I'm like,
Lesbians or
somewhere in
sisters.
between. Sorry, no, that was weird. Okay.
Anyway. Okay, Montreal and Ottawa. Cool.
Yeah.
And so we moved out here, and we went to school together at Queen's also, which, like,
Yeah.
people are like,
Nice.
do you do
Yeah.
anything alone?
Assuming, whatever.
No.
Oh, that's so cool.
And the mining industry completely went under, like, it tanked,
2013, yeah.
and it was, like,
Oh, shit.
super bad. It was super hard. And so we had this period of, like, I don't know, 4 years? Three or 4 years.
Yeah.
We call it our panic years.
Yeah.
And we just had, like,
I'm in that right now.
as many jobs as possible because we got to pay rent here. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
tough around these parts.
Well, what ends up happening is, like, in those years, all the work is so random. It's just, like, who you know, and they'll be like, yeah, I have this great contract for 2 weeks in June. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm psyched. And you quit all your jobs, and you, like, move everything out, and then, like, one day later, they're like, oh, yeah, it fell through. Sorry about that. And you're like, dang it, I need another job. So,
Shit. So that's what made you move to Vancouver? Was the job?
was yeah.
And you guys came together?
I came a year
Yeah.
before.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
so it
came-
was separate
yeah.
a little bit, but it was
Nice.
still
Yeah.
that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so you came first, and then you came.
Yeah, she copied me.
You went in and you were
Just
like,
kidding.
That
it's
must-
good, you can come.
Yeah.
That must have been nice too, because
I was
like,
like,
you-
I'll
Staked
clear.
it out, yeah.
that must have been nice for you because you were there, and then she was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then you
Well, I
guys
was like,
united?
Julia, you make all the friends first, and then I'll just come and join it.
piggyback onto the
Are you guys like the same age too?
I'm a year older.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So-
not
Oh,
much
sweet.
difference at all.
Pretty well.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Wow.
Super
That's
fun.
cool.
So have you guys been close since you were small?
Oh,
Since
yeah.
you were really
Yeah,
young?
I mean, I bullied her quite a bit.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
It's not. It's good for you, you know.
it happens.
You're the
right?
older one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you
Yes.
get.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I used to
that's
bully-
what you get for
Get
being
it.
the younger one.
I bullied my little brother.
I
all
bullied
the
my
time.
little brother too, and he
Yeah.
thanks me for it every day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's like, "Thank you."
It's
Made
funny.
me the who I am.
It's funny because I used to bully my little brother, but now he's a fireman, so it's kind of weird. There's
Yeah.
like this exchange where he's like, "Okay, I think now there's like power struggle here."
dynamic change.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really bullying. It's like toughening
No, it's
them
not.
up.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's like you love them. It's like tough love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
With girls, it's like we both have 2 sisters, so it's just
Do you?
It's just
Okay,
girls.
okay.
It's like emotional bullying. It's like, you know, we'd never hit each other, but it's like I can make you cry in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And like
2 minutes.
sorry, 20 seconds.
10 seconds.
Like make you contemplate like all your deepest, darkest fears. It's like I
Oh
know
my
that
God.
right away, and it's like
And it's so much easier than physical.
Oh,
Physical
yeah.
is so much energy and effort, you know?
time,
Just a couple of words and that person's crying on the floor. We're all up in the
Bitches.
fetal position.
they are questioning everything.
Everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Their entire life.
Exactly.
My sister's, I think Destiny, she's the younger sister of mine. I think she was better at that than my older sister, just because of their dynamics. My sister, Destiny, she was more into books and shit, so she was so smart, and like she could pick up on things. Like she knew I was bullshitting her right away. She's like, "Stop it, I know what you're doing, enough." And then with my older sister, she'd just be like terrified, because I would play games with her as a kid, and she'd be like, "Stop it." Wait, what was that?
That was, I just like laughed out of my nose. That was like a volcano.
I was like, oh my god, was that me?
Did I fart? Just like
Gust of wind.
gust
Holy
of wind.
shit.
We did our voice exercises before, so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
God, we don't even do voice exercises.
We panic.
We need
We're
to
just-
step up our game.
like,
Julia
fully
comes in and
nervous.
she's like, we just did our voice exercises, and she just went down. And what did you say? What was
Deep in the heart of the theater jungle, you can hear the lion rumble. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
What is that other one? Like High School Musical? They're like ooh, or something like that. I can't remember.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Yeah, they would just they would be like ooh. Just
That's like me on a regular day.
Yeah.
You know how I am. Like, I'll make these ridiculous noises out of nowhere. When we were working, I would just be like, oh.
our dynamic. We used to work. Oh yeah, I guess so. We used to work at together, so that's kind of how we became friends.
Fuck this guy.
Oh,
Hey, do
Say
you
no
guys
name.
write down people's names wrong on purpose?
No.
No,
I know.
so, sorry. Just disclaimer.
I swear to God, it just happens. It's so
Yeah.
loud in there, and I swear sometimes it'll be like, "Oh, what's your name, Paul? Fernando?" Okay. I swear to God, it happens, and I'm like, "Why? How did I hear that?"
A lot of people are quiet. A lot of people are very quiet. Like
Yeah.
they'll just say, "Oh yeah, my name's Dustin,"
Yeah.
and I don't ask again because there's like a lineup. But I'll be
You're
like,
like, I'm
okay,
busy.
I'm gonna guess Dusty, Durant,
Earl.
Asshole. Pretty sure that's what you said.
That's my thing. So I think
yeah.
if a lot of people are quiet, maybe that's when I might mix names up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other times, I ask people how to spell it. Like if I hear.
Oh,
the
I
name.
never do.
I don't know
I
why.
mean, really, who
Yeah.
cares how I spell your name? It's just so that we can get the right drink to the right asshole.
I don't know why I do it.
People are
I'm
like,
just
actually, I'm like, you really
you're
want
like,
me to
oh,
waste a
Do
sleeve?
you want your coffee or not?
Yeah. Do you want extra foamy with spit?
If you're gonna be all butthurt about getting your name wrong,
Oh my
then it's like
God.
speak loudly and clearly
yeah.
and get over
It's
it.
not like
Yeah.
you're issuing a passport and
Plus,
it needs
it's
to be
funny.
all. Who cares?
I like.
It like brings joy to my day.
Oh yeah, I go over the top. I'll be like, if Julia came up, she'd be like, "Yeah, Julia." I'll be like, "How do you spell that? Is that with the A or is that
Oh,
with
with a P?
Yeah, with the P." And so I'll write it down. That's how I pick up conversation because they're really strict. Like the people who like our management, like they're very strict with how we deal with our customers. So they're always watching, which sounds crazy, but they are. So they're making sure that we're like making the best moment possible with each customer. But when I'm with Amanda, it's like we just care about each other. We don't care about the
yeah,
customers.
you can. There's
We
like a
d-
bajillion people each
yeah,
day.
yeah,
And they don't give a shit about you.
But it's funny how exactly.
So?
It's funny how like when you get into that dynamic, the people they see that they like it. They like when you're real with them. They don't like it when you're just like, "Hey, how's it going? How was your day?" They're like, "I fucking Z right through." You're like, "Come on, what are you doing?"
And we have a lot of regulars, so as you
Oh,
get
yeah.
to know people, you know, it's just the.
That's
the-
my dream.
The small talk, just
For like the person to know my order and be like, you got it. You betcha.
Yeah. They're just like, "Hey, Julia, how's it going? Here
everybody
you go."
knows your name.
I've made it. Mom.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
All right, so we went off on a
Yeah.
tangent.
Oops.
That's usually how it happens.
Yeah, it always happens.
This is
But that's how we
organic,
met.
right?
That was you and I, and then we just started doing the podcast. It was really cool. I'm
Super
sorry,
good idea.
guys. I'm just in the moment.
You gotta stop. You gotta get better.
That's how we met. At
I
this
got
place.
better. Now you can get better
Exactly. Amanda did it.
too. Justin and I just always do that.
We've like exchanged looks, Amanda and I, throughout
Like
this
3
whole
times
podcast.
already. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go.
here he said it again.
I'm just not supposed to say the name, and I just
Can't
keep
you just
forgetting.
like bleep that?
yeah.
Yeah, we
oh,
will,
yeah.
but I
It's-
mean, that gets annoying.
The less bleeps, the
Because
better.
everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, where is it though?
yeah. Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty sure that people have figured it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we're talking about
because
drinks
we
and
will
stuff.
say things like, you know, the sizes of drinks that only this place says, and
Yeah, yeah.
mobile app and all that. So I'm pretty sure people have figured it out. But anyway, it's a great place to work for. So you guys were sort of still introducing yourselves, kind of,
Sorry.
and then we were going to get into.
Yeah.
So panic jobs, and I like
Oh,
these
yes.
these jobs kind of range from like call center to like Mac. We were those little ladies at the grocery stores, like, hi,
Fuck that job.
like
Yeah,
the little
you know,
testers,
the testers?
for probiotics.
Probiotics,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
literally
okay.
means you stand in the freezer aisle for 4 hours straight and talk to people
About their leaky guts.
incognito about like their shit.
Oh.
Ew.
So
That's fucking
because that's like
terrible.
when you need probiotics, it's like
Yeah.
that's kind of your deal.
You need a little assistance.
And we were in grocery stores that are like expensive and organic,
Like
and
Whole
so
Foods and
the
stuff.
people who were in there were
Oversharers.
overshares.
Yeah.
You're like, I
Really?
didn't ask.
About like moon cycles,
It's the-
and it was like, what?
The demographic of people that are in Whole Foods are probably the same demographic of people in Starbucks. So like I can totally
Yes,
relate. Like
that's true.
it's just that type of Oh my God, I'm sorry. You look at Justin and I immediately remember
Because
what
I just feel for Justin. That's all.
yeah.
Oh, so much work for me. It's okay.
yeah,
just
so-
move on. Just
It's
move
cool.
past
But
it.
it's the same demographic, and that's the thing that I just find that kind of like our regulars are great, but then you get those random folk. Like we had someone come in, and she ordered a coffee, and then she said, "Can I?" Like after about an hour or so, she was in there, and then or like maybe a half an hour, and she's like, "Can I get this warmed up in the microwave?" And we said no, and she's like, "Fine, I guess I won't come back here again." It's like that
You're like,
type of customer. Yeah.
Darn.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
1
for
out
ya.
of 10 billion.
Yeah. So-
Really gonna miss your money.
Exactly.
But that's the type of and it kind of gets it's annoying, but the people that we get to see, the regulars, they're what make
Yeah.
it so much better.
And we have a lot of them.
Yeah.
a lot of them.
A lot
for
of
sure.
them, yeah.
Anyway,
we
so-
miss you there, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I miss it too, actually, because
Yeah.
like I'm at a desk all the time.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
like,
So it's totally
texturing
different
and stuff.
dynamic than what you're doing now.
Desk
but
life.
The desk
yes,
life.
I've done the desk job too.
It's funny though, because it is a desk life, but I'm like texturing
No,
assets
but you're
and
doing
props.
what you love. That's awesome.
I don't know. It's just weird though, because at first, like I'll sit there. I'll be like, oh, this is a desk job. Like if you switch these computers out and put like paperwork there, it's almost the exact same thing. But what makes it better is that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. Anyway, sorry, you guys were we always do this, but
yeah,
you guys were.
Justin and I are really good at interrupting people.
It's okay, sorry. We could be better at it today, though. So, I mean, I think you should tell this the number one.
Okay, so I moved here in January, like 4 years ago, and I was like, ooh, don't have a job, but the Olympics are on, so no problem. I'll just be a patriot
Number one
for
Yeah.
2 weeks, and then I'll find a job.
Yeah.
And so basically, I was like, well, shoot. And we had moved into this apartment that was not meant for the amount of people that we had it in. And so I was living in a solarium.
Outdoors.
I was basically living outdoors. Like
Oh, wow.
all of my walls were windows, and it was like I had to escape the room, and it was south facing. I just escaped.
Is like for plants or something like that, or is it just?
Well, I called it a solarium because like I could have grown tomatoes in there. Like it
Holy
was like
shit.
a fucking greenhouse. I would like escape out of the room before the sun would like come up.
Oh my gosh, the
It's a really good
struggle.
time.
It's real.
But one of my walls was a sliding glass door with another girl's wall, and you can hear absolutely everything.
Everything.
I think it was
Everything.
amplified, if anything.
It was almost because like, oh guys, it was like everything. I'd like.
So she could hear
She
you
could
just
be
as
like-
much as you could hear her.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we had this like unwritten rule of like no fun allowed in the room.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
like
guess
her
so.
her
Go
phone
to the shower.
her phone would vibrate, and I'd be like, oh, who's texting you? Like from my bed, and she'd be in bed too. Like it's like we were bunkmates, and we were like, okay, this has to end after like a month. And
So you did that for a month? You were in that situation for
Yeah.
a month? Okay.
Good
tried
for
to
you.
make it work, and
Good for you. Holy shit.
and we
Yeah.
became very close friends. We were like, I know everything about you, and
Are you still friends now?
yeah. Well, she lives on the other side of the country, so
But you
it's
keep in
like,
touch? Cool.
Yeah, it's like one of those friends that like. If she was in Vancouver and you got a coffee together, it'd be like
Yeah.
totally the same as when you live together.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we were like, yo, we gotta fix this problem quick. And so I start Googling foam. I was just like, yo, let's just make a wall. Let's just make a wall. And so I started Googling everything about foam. I was
No,
like,
wait. Is this where this all started? Like,
yeah,
your story?
that's how I got
Yeah.
my job.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, sorry. Keep going. This is out of context because I heard this story already,
Super
but keep going.
interesting.
Oh
Well, I
my-
haven't, so shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I'm like.
I'll expedite the story because it can be very long.
No, take all the time you need. We have.
But so I was like, yo, we just need to get foam, and essentially we just need to stop the airflow between our rooms. That's how sound travels. I was like, great. So we're like researching foam, and I just Google foam Vancouver, and the Vancouver foam shop shows up.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, great. And it's not that far, and so we go, and we enter this store that was a literal explosion of foam. I just entered it. I was like, whoa, you can never hurt yourself in here. It's just like foam everywhere.
One trip, you're okay.
Yeah, and I was like, so disorganized. Anyways, we meet the guy. We explain the problem. We have like all the dimensions and stuff. And he felt really bad for us because he was like,
He took a personal interest.
yeah, very personal interest. He was like, you guys need privacy. And we were like, what are you getting at? But yes. And so anyways, he was like, we're going to give you the friends and family discount. We're going to give you the student discount.
Oh,
He was
wow.
like making up discounts. He was just trying to
Just off the ball.
give us the cheapest foam possible because little known fact, foam is very expensive.
Really?
Is it?
Very expensive.
Oh, I
It's
didn't know.
incredible.
Who knew?
Wow.
Yeah, so we were
it-
like, well, fuck, we have to cover an entire wall with it. And so, like, it ended up costing us, like, close to $300
Oh my
for, like, the
God.
shittiest foam possible. It was, like, that
like a
insulating
blend.
foam. It was, like, had, like, glass in it. It was, like, dangerous.
Yeah, we put it up and we're all like bleeding.
Yeah, so anyways, it was, like, we got it, and, you know, we had to, like, cut it exactly, and we had, like, there was duct tape involved. You can't stick anything to foam, other small, you know, little known fact here.
Yeah.
And we had, like, big plastic wrap, and I was just, like, creating, anyways.
Wow.
But it was really hard to put up. And so I ended up
Yeah.
like talking with the guy at the foam shop a lot, being like, what do you think we should do? Like, we only have one shot at this. Like, I can't break this foam. It's so expensive. And he ended up coming over to our apartment and helping us put it up because he was so like he just
Invested.
saw that we
Invested.
were
Yeah.
in need and we had no idea what we were doing.
That's
we were like,
awesome.
please help. Yeah, he was the greatest guy. And
Customer service, 100%.
oh yeah, okay, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, we created this wall and it was better than the other walls in the house. We were so hyped on it.
Nice.
Like, it was amazing. It was the greatest work of art I could ever create because I'm like super not good at art. And so he calls me like a week later and he's like, hey, listen, like I really know that this is not what you went to school for, but I could really use some help in the shop.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, I'll pay you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, shoot, I kind of feel like I kind of owe this guy something.
Yeah.
So I go and I'm like, I will now start my career as a foam specialist. And I was like, okay. So I enter the store and he's like, okay, great. So there's 3 things that we do here. Like custom foam orders, like your wall, foam pet beds, which are like very popular for small, tiny dogs. And the love bumper. And I was like, what?
What was that?
And he was like, you don't know what that is? He's like, you don't know what that is? It's like our biggest, that's how we keep the shop running. And I was like, no. And he's like, are you going to be cool? And I was like, I'm not.
Are you going to be cool?
I was like, I'm cool.
so
I'm
cool.
cool.
I'm so cool.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm cool. What are we doing here? And he was like, so the love bumper is, they're sex cushions. And I was like, what? I'm cool. And I started to look around and I was like, oh, that's what this is.
That's what-
Because there's all these pillows.
It's their bestseller.
Yeah. He was like, this is how we make all our money. They're very expensive. And I was like, no problem. and so he's like, basically, we need you to, he was like, we get the pillows already made.
Yeah.
And what we do is we sew the covers and we need you to stuff the foam pillow into the custom-made covers. And these covers were made by a very wonderful non-English speaking lady named Candy. And I was like,
The seamstress.
she was like, so what's my name gonna be? and basically I was like, okay. And he was like showing me how to do it, and I was really good at it. And it's like a very physical job, and I just discovered all these things about foam that I had no idea. And like foam, it really draws all the moisture out of your hands. Like my hands would like start to like crack and bleed.
Wow.
And like
Yeah.
the foam is super expensive, so you really don't want to break it when you're like putting like
Yeah.
Oh my
if you're ever
God.
looking to like stuff foam into small places, talk to me.
Okay. I'll call you up.
But like the funny thing was that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm cool. I'm fine with this. But I have one rule. I was like, I never want to see the customers. Like, I do not want to participate
Oh, yeah.
in customer service, which is like kind of funny.
You shake their hand like.
Yeah, I was like, I do not want to know who's buying these. I do, like, I just, like, I can't. Because I was like, what are these for? And he's like, well, they're for older people who have, like, back problems so that they can be in the right positions to, like, also. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's important.
Yeah.
I feel good about this. I never want to see them. I never want to come face to face. So I was, like, stuck in the back in this, like, foam explosion, just like shoving things, and it was so hot in there. I'd be like drenched in sweat, just like shoving things.
Like, you couldn't wear gloves or anything like that? They just.
So
Oh, this is where it goes. I remember now.
so my like shining moment of my entire life was, I was like, shoot, you know, I was like, ugh, my hands, like they're like fully cracking and bleeding. I was like, what the fuck? And so the guy is like, oh, geez, oh, wow, I forgot to tell you. He's like, no problem. This will make it way easier. He's like, okay, so usually in the foam industry, they have this like spray that makes it way less dry. Like they just spray it. But he's like, it's really bad for you. And like you have to wear like a full suit. And like we're just not about that. And we're going to go like kind of natural. And I'm like, okay. And I just was not on the same wavelength as him. I don't think I should have been. But,
No,
but he was like, so, you know, these are for the sex pillows. You know, we're kind of like into natural stuff here. Like, can you guess what we use? And I was like, what? And he's like, you don't. And I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. And he's like, okay. So he goes under the table and he lifts this like one of those like big white industrial buckets.
Yeah.
And he just plops it on the table, and it says, all Canadian lube. And I'm like,
I knew it.
oh my God, my life. And I was like, yeah, I was like, true. And he's like, this stuff. And so he's like, look, you
So
just
proud.
Yeah, he was like, look at this. You just take a tiny piece of foam, you dip it in the lube,
Yeah.
like this fucking giant industrial size back, like, oh my God, there was so much lube. And he's like, you put it, you know, on the sides of the cushion, and he's like, and it just slides right in. I was like, oh. And then he's like, and, you know, sometimes I just dab, 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 right on the hands. And I'm like, holy shit. And I was like, okay. And then he left, and I was like, well, geez, this does feel a lot better. I was like,
Yeah, you're like, wait
and
a
I was
minute.
like, things were like just like slipping out of my hands. I was like, this is so funny.
She'd come home at the end of the day just like looked absolutely defeated, covered in lube.
It was
I'm like, what happened there?
such a physical job. But I literally was on my like 47th pillow that day, and this guy's like, you are breaking records. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Mom, I've made it.
I made it.
And I'm standing there, and I'm just like elbow deep in lube, and like there's like these giant pillows, and Candy is like seamstressing these like leather covers with like pouches for like vibrators and stuff. I was like,
Oh my God.
I was like, this is where I am.
You made
Like
it.
this is where
This is my life now.
my
What's happening?
my bachelor's of science has taken honors has taken me, and I was
You're in
like
a sex foam shop with lube on your hands.
covered in. And I was just like in your hair, like I was like so sweaty, and there's like blood and lube, and I was just like,
You're just like hand on your
Yeah.
forehead, like, whew, wow, day's
yeah,
work.
Probably
literally.
like physically and mentally exhausted from that.
Yeah, and then after I stuffed them, my other job was to gift wrap them in like cellophane, and there's this amazing guide full of stick figures of like all the different positions you could do with this type of pillow. Like they could be smaller, they could be like totally fine. I was like, yo. And so I took a photo and sent it to my sisters, and they were like, they're both older, and I'm a lawyer and a doctor.
Oh, fuck.
And I
Fuck that.
And here you are.
and I was
Mom,
like,
look at me.
guys, lol. And they were like, Allie,
lube and foam.
we have never been more proud of you. And I was like, thank you so much. And anyways, soon thereafter, thankfully, I got a job at MEC. And I was like,
can you circle back to what your mom thought about all this?
oh, yeah. So my mom,
Best
I was
part.
like, yo, Mom. She was like, how are you making money? And I was like, oh, I work at a foam shop. No worries. And she was like, okay. And then like years later, I was like talking about it with my sisters at the kitchen table. I was visiting my family, and my mom's like chopping veggies, and we're like LOLing about, you know, the foam shop and Candy. And there's
Candy.
this other woman who worked there. she was like admin, but she also had this other job, which was a like film agent. And we were like, oh, cool. Like, what kind of films? And
Like
she was
a casting.
yeah, like a casting
casting
agent.
agent. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. And I was like, oh, cool. So, like, what kind of films? Like, are we famous? And she was like, pirates.
Oh.
And I was like,
She casts exclusively pirates.
exclusively only pirates.
What
And I was
the
like,
hell?
so I'm telling my sisters this, and I was like, yo, like, what kind of movies only have pirates? I was like, Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or how many there are.
Yeah.
And then what else? Porn. And I was like, oh,
Right.
this job. And so my sisters are like killing themselves laughing, and my mom's like, oh, you know, and then like
You can't make this stuff up.
I was
That's
like-
what I was saying to you. Like, their stories are amazing.
It's like,
you guys.
my mom's like, what? And I was like, okay, Mom, I have a confession. Like, when I worked at the foam shop, I was stuffing sex pillows. And she was like, oh, thank God. I was like, what? She's like, you know, she's also a lawyer. Which makes
keep in
this
mind.
even worse. She's like,
That
I
does.
just thought, you know, you quit so suddenly. And I just thought, you know, you had discovered that, you know, there was like drugs in the pillows, and you had discovered it, and you were like, oh, I have to quit. And I was like,
Involved with the
"You
cartel."
thought-" I was like, you thought,
Drug cartel.
you thought I was part of some like drug cartel shove it. And I was like, it's kind of a genius idea. But
Kind of, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Mom.
Undercover in a foam factory.
I was like, Mom.
She's a lawyer. She could defend you guys too.
But I was like, you should know. I was like, you can't just quit a drug ring.
That's not how it works.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
And I was
Gotta
like,
go.
I'm giving my 2 weeks.
Tapping out. Tapping out.
I was like, don't you think I would have called you and been like, I'm in a bad sitch? I was like,
I really
sitch.
fucked up.
but yeah,
My
but
two
my dad does not know.
He still doesn't know.
Daddy doesn't know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But Daddy doesn't know won't hurt him.
Yeah, but even if he did, like, he would never bring it up. So we're
No.
good.
We're good. We're set.
That's
set.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But then, yeah, I got a job at Mac, and I was like, it's just the added responsibility is too much. I can't work here anymore. It's too physical.
He became like a full friend, this
Yeah.
foam shop guy.
Oh, you guys are.
Oh,
no.
yeah. I mean, he texts me sometimes. He has like business ideas, and I'm like, man, I'm not there. And he like would pick us up in his really nice car, leather seats, and we'd go to karaoke, blast classical music with the windows down. Turns out he has a voice of an angel.
Nice.
He's like a quarter Filipino.
Yeah, and you know how all
Right.
Filipinos are good at karaoke?
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
No exception here.
And
Yeah.
he would just throw
Amazing.
it down a cash. Like, we would get wasted. He'd be like, tequila, tequila, tequila. And then we'd just be like singing, and we'd be like,
He's in like his mid 40s, has a couple kids.
yeah. And he just wanted to
just
hang
wanted to
out with
hang.
us because he was like, you
What
guys
is-
are fun. Like, let's live. And I was like, okay.
What are some of his like new ideas? Like he has like new like business plans or some shit. Like
He like went to a bunch of these like sex conventions and like would
He
show us
started-
all his like
Realizing that the real money was like in all the sex toys and like sex
Yeah,
cushions and
of
stuff. And
course.
so just, it kind of really went that way. And we were like, uncomfortable.
oh boy.
he did have the flop and lao.
Oh, yeah.
So
What's the
so there's a third one of us that was like also a geologist. She lives in the States now, which is sad. But so there was like the three of us, and we all had like different relationships.
Yeah.
Ali started it, then Chelsea kind of like became his business partner, and then I was like his side lady, and we'd like sing together and like, he'd be like, come to the shop, let's jam. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
What's happening?
Bring your ukulele.
And so Chelsea and I were on like urban rec volleyball team, and so we'd go to
Nice.
the beach, and it was like super fun. And one day he's like, "Hey girls, can I come? Like, can I come watch?" And we're like, "Yeah, totally, man. Like, no worries." And he showed up, and he's like, kind of like this big guy. He was wearing this shirt, like those blouses, t-shirt blouses,
Like the
which
Hawaiian
no one should
ones?
ever wear any.
Yes.
And it
Okay.
had like a bunch of fish on it, and they were like
okay, yep.
floppy fish, and he's running, and like the guys on our volleyball team were like, cool. Like I had to like be cool
And, like,
you know?
hot.
And like hot, and I was like, this is back when I was young and spry. And then he like ran across the beach, and he's like, girls, and he's like waving, and he has this thing attached to his head, and it's a strap, and it's like I don't know if this is hard to picture, but it's like he has this giant foam bed that's like strapped to his
No.
head, and it's balancing.
Come on.
And it's like folded, and then he like was running over into just like it's just chaos. And then there's
Look what I got.
yeah, look what I girls, and so he runs over, and it's called called the flop and lao.
Flap and loud.
It's a foam bed built for Vancouver beaches.
Julia
and
was like, I need to know what this is.
and it goes like up against the logs. so you can like sit on it.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
brilliant.
It's
Oh,
actually
there
really
we go.
good.
Those
Wow.
fucking Vancouver logs on
Yeah.
the beaches. I don't get it. I'm from here, and I'm like, what is that?
This thing is
That is
Introducing
brilliant.
2018 Flop and Lao.
Flopping
Flop and
Lao.
Lao.
that embarrassing like dad moment when you're like, oh, I don't know that guy, and he's
Yeah.
like, yo, Julia, Chelsea, it's me, and you're like, oh, I don't know him. Wow, Krill.
But he was like a true gem.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He's
You
such a
guys
great
definitely
guy.
have painted a good picture of this guy. He seems pretty sweet.
So if I Google Flop and Lao, that's a thing?
I don't know if it's really picked up.
If you Google like
Oh.
Love Lounge, Love Bumper, The Iceberg,
or just go to the foam shop.
or just it's
Kind
Broadway
of
and
want. We
Fraser.
should probably go on like a field trip and then
Yeah.
like come back and report on it.
I
like
wouldn't
this
mind
is
that.
what
Flop
we
and
thought.
Lao.
We actually should.
Yeah.
That's
a good idea.
because I've seen that.
Follow the
that-
story, guys. Follow the
I've
story.
seen the logo. I don't know where. Like
well,
foam.
so it's not that one. It's
Oh.
called. Should I
Huge
say
market
it?
for
I don't know.
for foam here in
There
Vancouver.
is
Yeah,
there
really.
is like a chain.
Who
It's
knew?
called Vancouver Foam Shop, but it's not that one. It's like an independent foam shop.
Oh,
it's like
okay,
more,
okay.
you know, off the grid.
He went out on his own.
yeah.
Underground.
So like, what is foam made out of? Like, that's my question. Like, what?
Honestly, I
fiberglass.
don't. Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
And like, how do they make it? Do they just put it all in like this pressure cooker?
Yo,
and
chemicals. I don't know.
fuck,
It's intense. Yeah.
it's insane to think about that because like foam is everywhere. Like we all know what it is.
Yo,
but
I
it's like,
see a piece of foam and I'm like, oh my god, my former life.
triggered.
My hands just became dry.
Get all cracked.
Where's my lube?
Did you guys ever think you were going to talk this much about foam
No.
on the
No.
podcast?
No, I don't think so.
Like I literally walked into this podcast room and I was like, interesting. This foam isn't what I expected.
I've
Soundproofing.
There's foam everywhere you look now.
I've never thought foam could be as interesting as how you guys
Yes.
made it to be.
You just never think about those people who are like, who made this object?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
And then you're in there and you're like, yo, that was me.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I
Someone's
made
gotta do it.
so many of those sex cushions, and there's just so many people.
you have given
I have
given life
pleasure
to many men in Vancouver.
directly.
Is there like ones for women too somehow?
No, yeah, so it's
Like-
for both.
Is it?
Actually, yeah, some of them are probably more
I feel like you
geared
more
towards
like
women.
lie on it.
You lie on it, so it's really for like old people with
maximize
back
blood flow.
issues.
So it's a sex foam toy for old people with back issues.
It basically, the main focus of it is putting you in the best position possible for you to
Oh, I see.
have a good time.
Have
Whereas
the
like
most
I see.
pleasurable
old
experience.
people,
I see it
like
now.
you know, they
Yeah.
can't use their muscles as much
Oh
as
my
young
God.
people to like put themselves in there. So it's like just lie.
Amanda's face.
I can't help but visualize it.
Exactly that, which is why
Now
was
I
like,
know why you didn't want to see those
Which is
people.
why- and
the minute you see those faces, automatically you can
One
see them
guy-
doing some funky sex position.
One guy came to the back of the store, and Chris was like, "Oh yeah."
Did you stop, drop, and roll?
Allie is
Got out of
almost.
there.
I was like, "Oh God, it's all too real." And he was like, "Yeah, Allie's just finishing up with your," and it was like this giant thing, and I'm like covered in sweat, and I'm like shoving it in, and like doing the zipper.
I'll
up.
be right out, guys. Just give
And
me a
this
second.
guy is watching. He's like, "Oh, great, yeah, this looks really good. I think." And he's just starts talking about it. I'm like, "Oh my God,
You're like, Dad.
I was like, yeah, I was like, oh God, no. And after I was like, yo, not cool. What did I say? My number one rule was don't ever let me see the people who are using these.
So let's talk about Chris and perhaps the best customer service ever.
Yeah.
Like, what a guy.
oh,
yeah.
yeah,
He
completely.
comes like
Yeah.
the guy.
Into my apartment to be like, let's get this done for you.
Why can't that be in any other sort of like area of work? Like why can't
Right?
It's very niche to the foam
Just
industry.
come to my house and make me coffee.
Or like going into someone's home and like showing them how to make a cappuccino or something for themselves.
like or even as simple as painting your room? Like, oh, let's like show me how to do it.
I mean, I feel like there's painters for that.
Well, like I love to do my own work. I'm like crazy that. Like I want someone to come and show me like, okay, how long does this take to dry? How long does this work?
Help
show
me apply the tape.
Because he showed
Yeah.
you how to put the foam in the wall because you guys
Yeah.
could have done it yourselves.
I feel like that's a once in a lifetime. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't
It
a
was a
skill
very,
that will
like-
No, not everybody's going to get that opportunity.
But now
I-
people are like, oh,
invest in
there's
that.
all these people who are living in their vans now, and they're all about the foam for insulating. I'm like, yo, I got a guy.
I know a guy.
Like
I know a
people
guy.
know me, and they're like, yo, you live in with the foam industry? I'm like, yeah, bro.
Do I ever?
Do I ever?
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a foam guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, for a second, I thought you actually had a phone guy. I was like,
But
wait
you
a
just
minute.
throw that out at like people that you've never met, and they're like, who the fuck are you?
It freaks me out that it like cracks your hands. Like it just draws all the
Yeah.
moisture.
So much friction.
Is it like that insulation stuff that in houses? Is it sort of the same?
Yeah, except there's no like glass in it.
Yeah,
which is
it's a
why-
lot worse. Yeah. That's what I find. Like I used to get caught in that. Like when I was a kid, we had a broken. Yeah, we had a hole in the wall of our house.
I can't get out.
We had a hole in the wall in our house, and like I had no idea what this shit was.
Better go in.
I better go in. And I didn't get caught necessarily. I just was in it, and then it wrapped around my arm, and I was like, oh, what is this? And it sticks to you, right? So you have to pull it off, and then it gets all itchy, and your skin gets really
That's
red.
all the glass.
Yes, and it's pretty fucking crazy. But they have this new stuff now where it's like you have this, it's a gun, and it's like this white foam that it expands.
Yeah.
So you shove it in, and then it just goes, and it just expands into the wood.
Oh,
Wow.
I like that.
And I think it hardens. I think it hardens.
I think
don't
so,
know.
yeah.
Hopefully.
It hardens, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
So many innuendos here.
Yeah.
Just shove it in.
Sex toys with
Lubed
foam.
up.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that was
So-
the industry.
Thank you for sharing that.
That was fun.
That I
I
feel
learned
privileged
something
to
new
have
today.
it.
I learned a lot of new things new today. I didn't know anything about foam before.
Neither did I.
Nothing.
I want to be a pirate.
So I need
still a
clarity,
mystery.
because like with this pirate thing, like the whole porn industry pirate stuff.
We don't actually know if that's a
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
We
We
just
made it up.
speculated.
All right. Well,
Why don't we Google pirate porn?
Well, then there's the pirates.
there is legit pirate porn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just want to know where the foam is involved. Like, how does it? Like, do they have foam?
Oh, I think this
swords?
was her
No,
side hustle.
It was her side. Yeah.
Oh,
Her other job.
Yeah, her
I
other
see.
job. So she's got her foam life, and then she's got her pirate porn
Yeah.
life. It's an
Damn it.
interesting life. Like, seriously.
What is your side hustle?
She's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I need to step it up here. I don't have any kind of hustle.
I want one too, actually.
Maybe we should start dealing
Oh,
foam.
I
I
actually-
thought they were talking about foamy milk, like milk foam.
Oh my God, no.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Why don't we be like drug dealers on the side or something like that?
Easy, yeah.
I had a really good idea on Friday for my side hustle because like
We all
it's
need-
good. I'm
We all
gonna,
need one.
I'm just gonna like throw it out there and you guys can like do
Okay,
whatever you want
let's
with it.
hear
But
it.
I'm
Yeah.
just okay.
Okay.
Plumbing.
Okay.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about plumbing?
butt crack?
Thank you.
Toilets.
Thank you. See, this is our mind map or whatever. I actually asked someone on Friday. I was like, "What's the first thing when you think about plumbers?" And he's like, "Plumbing." I'm like, "You're really bad at this game." Drink.
Justin, by the way, was the one who said butt crack, not me. Just so-
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, that was the correct
That's-
answer.
I want to
That's
give
the
him.
correct
I want to give
answer.
him the credit.
Yeah.
because
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
Give me
when
the
I think
glory.
about plumbing, I think about it's like a dirty crack.
Oh yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
change the connotation of the plumber's crack because sex sells.
Oh.
Sexy plumbers.
Yeah, which like poop is not sexy, but you know everyone has their own thing. Pirates poop.
So is this all both sexes, girls and guys, or?
Yeah. Like make it just like a hot crack, and then
Oh.
the name of the company is going to be called the Pipe Handlers. And Allie, can you share the slogan?
Number one in the number two business.
Oh my God.
Ooh, it's,
That's really good.
yeah.
Came up
So
with
I'm
that
looking for investors.
at Faux at 3 a.m.
Well, you know, this is a plug-in for you guys right now. So
Thank you for providing us with this platform.
You're welcome. This platform that is so
Visit me at
popular.
www.pipe.
We did that actually in the first round of our podcast too. We were like, okay, so this is our link to our podcast, WW.
Yeah.
But no, like
That's funny.
very classic side hustle is I had a shorts nanny stint,
Oh yeah.
and Julia did one for
I did
longer.
it for, like, a
but
6-month one.
It's a solid
Nanny?
hustle.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate customer service. I think.
I tried to
Oh,
be a
wow.
nanny.
Justin tried to, yeah.
I applied for
a
it.
manny.
Yep.
Manny.
I worked for the Boys and Girls Club for about 2 years. So I worked with
nice.
kids and youth. And it's actually, if I wasn't in the industry with the game industry or the film industry, I would do that. I would go to conventions and
It
the
is
camps.
hard.
I just love working with the youth and being a part of the community to build it up, that sort of thing.
I feel like everyone should kind of do some sort of nannying. It's really good, best birth control in the world.
But here's the thing.
I was like, I never want to have sex again.
I had the best reference letter from Sarah, who was my manager at the Boys and Girls Club. And it's like this, like it was full and it was just this, I've never had a better reference letter. And I went and I was all well prepared and I went to the interview. And she just straight out told me, like, it's going to be a lot harder for you as a man to do
Yeah.
this. You, like, normally, like, she's like, everything, you're a great person. Like, I see you have everything you need, but I just don't think it's gonna work out. So I'm gonna like. So she was basically declining me, even though I was like well prepared.
But, dude, that sucks.
That does suck.
Did suck, and I was like, crap. And obviously now I'm a lot farther. Like I'm in a place where I'm wanting to be, but it was like, fuck, that sucks. Because
Yeah.
like I really wanted to do that. I want to.
Yeah.
It's different than the Boys and Girls Club because you're dealing with specific families,
Right.
But like to network with families and to like I don't know, be more known. My friend who I used to live with, she is a nanny, and that's what she does. She goes to different families, and she's pretty well known in certain areas. So I like that sort of aspect of it too. But that was the issue with being a manny. It's like, guys just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked. What are your opinions on that? Like, how do you guys?
I feel like that just works under the assumption that like we're just, or like women are more like nurturing or something. It's just not true.
Just not true.
I know.
I should have
I'm a
not.
bitch.
You know, yeah. It's like what I found so hard about nanny. I was like, yo, it's hard because you're like, I don't love you.
I loved
You know,
mine at the
you
end.
know what? Yeah, I mean, you do.
Eventually,
but you don't have that same like, parents love. And so when the kid's being an asshole, you're like, yo, you are an asshole.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't say that, obviously, but
Right.
you're like,
But I mean, most of the time you're meeting with the moms.
Yeah.
And like if they have a connection with you, then it's like
True.
boom, like start tomorrow. And you're
Yeah,
like,
I would.
Yeah.
I would really like to see like if there's studies for that sort of thing. Like if men are more nurturing or women are more nurturing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no.
So wrong.
It
It's
sucks.
So
so
I
not
want to know
true.
because, like, I feel like it's just a huge misconception. Because I love working with families and kids, and it just sucks because it's like, oh, okay, so if that's the mindset, then I need to kind of like figure
I
it
need
out.
to rethink things.
Yeah, because I don't know, it's just weird. But anyway,
I don't think one or the other is more nurturing.
It's
I think
just
it all
like-
depends on individual.
well, then it's
Yeah,
weird.
it's
Like as a
society.
woman, you're supposed
Yes.
to be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be the nurturing
Right.
one and stuff.
And then a man is
and
gonna
then
be
you
like-
go and you take a nanny job and you're like, am I a woman? Like you're like, yo, I do not fit this. Like,
it's not your thing.
shoot,
Yeah.
I don't
isn't gonna
love this. I was like, this baby's cute as all hell, but
yeah.
But
I'm out. I gotta
you
go.
know, it's like
I feel like
I've
I
never been more tired.
I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
when you
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
I
I
bet,
was like,
yeah.
this is my
Not-
favorite story. The middle one was 9. She gets off the bus one day. There's 3 daughters, which I
Yep.
feel like was very fitting because like I was the world's worst child. Like
Oh.
yeah,
absolutely.
you had like a
chaos.
debt to pay
Yeah.
to society.
I told like I grew up with a nanny, and then I
Oh,
told
yeah.
her all about that. She's like, Karma's a bitch, and I was like, and she's like this large Quebec lady. She's awesome.
I love it.
I was a piece of shit kid too. Actually,
So was I.
So this little 9-year-old gets off the
completely
bus, and I was like, oh, how was your day? Like this is like months in. She's like, terrible. I was like, oh, Pliny.
The 9-year-old said
Yeah.
that?
And I was like, oh, what happened? Like, what is so bad in your life? She's like, today was Secret Santa. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of fun, like good opportunity to do something not school related. Like, I'm trying, really
Yeah.
trying.
You are, yeah.
And she's like, I was like, well, what did you get? She's like, I got a card. And I was like, oh, well, what did everybody else get? She's like, Shauna got an MP3. And I was like, okay, there's something wrong with our school system here. And then
That's
like
fucked.
got all like political and like, I was like, what the hell? And I was like, okay. I was like, well, that's a little bit unfair, but like, who gave Shauna the MP3? She goes, Pierre. I was like, oh, well, maybe Pierre has a crush on Shauna. And she goes, "Ugh, no. When boys like girls, they hump them. And I was like, no. Bad. Panic.
Backtrack.
And I was like, oh, you could just ask your mom about that later. Like, this is not on me anymore.
Yeah. There's certain topics you're like, man, I don't get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Out of my territory.
I never knew that. That's hilarious.
When boys like girls, they hump them. Duh.
Oh,
Like that coming from a 9-year-old, you're like, what is
Kids
happening?
are so crazy.
a
Oh
lot.
my god, that's
Got to be
amazing.
consensual humping, honey. If you don't want that boy to hump you,
We're going to talk
that's
about
what- say
consent
no.
now.
That's what you would start off. Consent.
Start them young.
yeah, and then you send
Yeah.
them back off to their mother, and it's like, well, what did you learn today? I learned about humping. Eating
Julia said.
consensual. yeah,
Yeah.
You're like, that wasn't me.
where babies come from, basically.
And a couple days later, I was walking with the 2-year-old, and we're walking down the street, and there's like a little fender bender. These 2 cars got into like on King Ed, like whatever.
Yeah.
So these 2 people get out of their cars and they're screaming at each other, like the most
Full on.
profanity ever.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
obviously I was quite sensitized to like all the swearing because I was like, la 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 la, don't listen.
Yeah.
And the guy goes to the other guy goes, you're such an abortion, and he's like yelling this.
Oh my god.
And then he says, "You're an abortion," and I'm like, "What is this insult?" And I was like,
Yeah, it doesn't even make any sense.
"Is this a new one? Like, is this what the kids are saying? Am I missing?" And then she goes, she like grabs my shirt. She goes, "Zuya, well, what's an abortion? And I was like,
Oh God.
I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Walk faster. Gotta go.
I don't know. Like, I had, when I was at the Boys and Girls Club, there's this one girl in particular who is the pain in my ass of all existence. Like, this girl was always not wanting to participate. Every time we were in the gym, because that's what we did. So it was like, we have snacks, you go to the gym, we do physical activity, and then you could do whatever the fuck you want. Like, it's all whatever you want to do. We have like video games and like couches to sit and hang out with kids, like everything from technology to all the toys that we have as well for the kids. But anyway, so she doesn't eat the snacks. She sits out on all of the activities, and it's really hard to get her to participate. And so one day she was sitting, we were doing like gym activities, and she does this thing where she crosses her arms and she's like, so she literally puffs up her cheeks and goes like this and makes her lips, she puckers her lips, and she's like, I don't want to. And she just goes and she looks down and she kind of like doesn't have eye contact. And so I'm like, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to try today. I'm going to try to get her to participate. And so
This is a challenge for me.
Oh, it was. And I sat down beside her. I was like, hey, like, it'd be really awesome if you like participated with us. I know you don't want to, but it makes everyone else kind of like agitated when you just sit here and not participate. And she's like, I don't care. Like, I just want to sit. And I'm like, if you participate, it would be so much fun. And she's like, no. And she runs away and she goes into the other room. So
How
she
old
leaves.
is she? Just
she's
for
like,
context?
she was probably like 10, 11.
Ugh,
Yeah.
She's old.
Yeah. So I have
Party needs a poper.
So she goes into the other room, and I sit again. I go into the other room. I sit beside her. Eventually, I get her to actually participate. So after all of that, it was like
Epic
a
win.
good solid 10 minutes, and she's like, "Okay, fine." I was just really wanting to ring it into her, like,
And you're just like, listen, you little bitch.
you are a part of this. Like, we all want you to participate. It's fun. You're being I was real with her. I was like, you are being annoying. Like, a guy to an 11-year-old. You're being annoying, and all the other kids are not
You're
wanting.
annoying.
Yes, and all the kids are like agitated that you're not participating because it's not fair to them. And she was, and so she was in her mind as 11-year-old. She's like, oh, you know what? Like, I never even thought of that before. I don't think anyone has ever taught her to think of others about, like, and
Wow.
and so I gave that to her, and like, you shouldn't say stuff
When
like
do
that.
people learn that?
I know, right? Like, I don't.
Customer service jobs.
Yeah.
True, I guess.
Really.
So like over 18.
Yeah, so we're good. And so and she was like, oh, okay. She realized like we want her to participate, and she also realized when she doesn't participate, it makes the other kids think it's unfair. And so she knew that right away, and so she went in. And then the thing that pissed me off the most was one of the other leaders that was there. She was like, no, it's too late. She can't participate. She needs to go sit out. And I was like, what are you doing?
Like, no, ruined all my hard work.
I fucking got this. And then I talked to her individually. I was like, why did you send her back? And she's like, she needs to learn her lesson. So
I'm all about lessons, but like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
what's the answer?
Yeah. So
what
like,
will make her grow up to not be a shitty fucking customer?
and the thing
is that
thanks for bringing it
Was
back.
that a good segue?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that
did.
was great.
I love that. And so that's the
Yes.
thing. Like, when it comes to that sort of stuff, it's hard because it works both ways. So with like the boys that I deal with, they're a little bit easier, but they're harder in some other aspects to deal with. So relating that to customer service and to customers, I almost feel like it's the exact same. Like, you kind of get those sort of same mentalities, but in more mature ways. Does that make sense? Am I
Yeah.
making
Oh,
sense?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting. And it's
there's
not,
like this underlying theme with like bad customers. It's like deep down they just expect things like should be better for them.
Yes.
And they just cannot understand why they can't have what they want. I'm like,
this-
are you having
Exactly,
a temper
yeah.
tantrum?
Is this a good opportunity for the voicemail?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Please.
Yeah?
so bring it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
but
us
you have
about
to give
that.
backstory.
Yeah.
though.
Give us backstory,
so
Julia. That's good.
during my panic years, actually, this was a good.
This is a solid job.
Yeah.
I used to work at
up to
the
you,
jacket company.
Oh yeah.
in customer service, which is great, and warranties. And so because I'm from Quebec, I did all like the French warranties. I didn't really have a manager.
So you speak French, right?
I do.
So you're bilingual.
Yeah.
Bilingual.
And so I was my own manager. So I'm Julia, and my manager was Anne.
Nice.
They say
You just like switch voices.
did they say poutine?
Awesome.
Poutine.
Poutine.
Puts in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Dar-
putain
Dar
is slut.
casse-croûte.
So it's like
Oh.
Really?
Fine line.
Poutang.
Wow, fine line.
You slutty poutine.
Poutang.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, so I was my own manager, which was really great. Like I was like, oh, just one moment,
That's always
please, and
the
then
best.
I'd twirl around and be like, oui, hello.
Oh my god, I love
So like
that.
my real self was, I don't think I ever had a different accent or anything, but
Yeah.
a lot of the time was over email. I just sign it Anne, and then underneath be like supervisor.
Do you feel
That's
like
so funny.
what do you feel like when you speak a different language, you kind of are like a different person?
Oh
in
my
general?
god, yeah.
That's interesting. I find that
I do it to my boyfriend. He doesn't speak French, and he's like, whoa, that's hot.
Oh.
Yeah. You have 2 girlfriends now.
You come in with like this French maid.
And I could be a crazy bitch. I could be like, that's not really me.
That's awesome.
You're insane.
Random question, but anyway, keep going.
All right, so I worked in customer service, and like the people who buy our jackets, just like Whole Foods people,
Are they?
Choices people, yeah, they make like these
Well,
jackets
jacket
are like
can be
$600. Like,
so expensive.
Holy shit!
like what? So if you see people in Vancouver who are like decked out head to toe, and either they have like a boatload of money or they work there. It's like one
Or
the
they know
other.
people who
or
work
they know
there.
people. So like
yeah.
I became the Robin Hood of jackets,
Yeah.
and like
Jul-
so many jackets. People would come over and be like, oh, it's raining. I'm like, take this, and they're like,
You'd be like, or we'd have a party and she'd be like, shh, come in and tell me 3 secrets about yourself and you'll win a prize. And everyone's like, what am I going to get, like a chocolate or something? And then they'll tell her 3 secrets and then be like, here's a jacket. And they'll be like, what?
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Wow.
But
Holy
That's
shit!
awesome.
they were
Do they
like,
have guys' jackets?
oh yeah, it was mostly men's jackets.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Nice.
It's like really good quality, but they're why people work for their warranties. They have like this amazing warranty system.
Okay.
It's like really, really good.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
they'll
'Cause the
replace
shit is
stuff if
awesome.
there's
Which is
like a
why, like,
defect or like.
I was always surprised that these customers would get so mad at Julia because it's like, you know, they will replace your $600 jacket with another one.
Yeah.
and
No
it's
questions
like,
asked.
Yeah, it's like they have a really, really good policy.
But that shows how good a quality the jackets are
Yeah, like,
anyway,
Because
right?
the customer's always right.
I hate that. God.
Are
So like
they
I had a lot of
though?
really bad calls, and like people would call
Yeah.
me mademoiselle because they like know that I'm young, and I'm like, it's fucking madame. But like I wouldn't say that, but I'm like, and then the people that I worked with would always know that I'd get really mad when I stood up. Because like, I'm at my desk with like my headset, and like when I'd stand up, it means that like
Oh, it's
you know,
intense.
yeah, like in the morning, you if you stand up and like put your arms up, and you're like, I
like a thing.
affirm, or like
Yeah, if you like do this
You're, like,
to yourself in
powerful.
the mirror,
Really?
you like or,
Yeah.
like put your hands above your head, like it's called like Superman pose or
maybe
something.
they just teach that to women.
Yeah.
This is
do
another
you know it?
podcast topic.
No, she
And
doesn't.
it like if you feel nervous about something, it just like instills like a weird like psychological sense of confidence, and you're like,
really?
I can do this. You'd be like, yes.
So wait, while you're on
in
the phone
mirror.
with someone, you do that?
No,
Or-
I would just stand up and be like, I am all that is woman. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
shit.
Nice.
I'm right.
I am right.
Anyway, so this guy, he calls, and like we're 9 to 5, like whatever.
Yeah.
And so he calls on the weekend, and obviously it's closed. And so
Yeah.
he leaves a message, and I sent it to myself and kept it.
Yes.
This is like 5 years ago now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I sent it to everybody I knew.
She's gonna share the
Yeah.
message,
And
by the way.
I don't know if it'll work sound wise, but like
We can try
I
it.
feel like I can I can
it on-
pause it if we need to like laugh and debrief.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
but-
yeah, and you're gonna put it on speaker. I
Just like
assume?
put it in the mic and I can edit
Oh,
it out
it's like
later.
I made it into a little what are those
Oh, a little
audio file?
audio.
Yeah, just put it like right into
file.
the speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, just put it in
Hey
front
Justin,
of
just let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm excited.
Okay, wait.
That's the best part.
I'm gonna
of
put it
audio.
up high volume.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
That's perfect.
am beside myself in anger, and I'm trying so hard to make this a nice message. I've spent the last hour trying to send you a warranty request, and it didn't work, and now your email isn't working either. You're closed. I bought a pair of gloves, and on the first use, the same came apart on me. $60. You're supposed to be high quality equipment.
guy's having a
That
breakdown.
has not been my experience. I got ripped off. I don't expect or foresee you to give me my money back or replace these, but I'm getting ready to go on a winter canoeing trip without gloves because you failed me and you won't make it the ability to let me get these warranted. My phone number is
Should probably bleep that out.
8142 if you even care. I do expect.
And he goes on for a while, but
If you even care.
My favorite thing about that is that he's just like climbing and climbing
Yeah,
and climbing.
yeah.
It's almost like you can imagine him, he starts sitting and then he's like, in my experience, he's like getting out of his chair and he's just like,
Wow. That almost sounded like it wasn't real.
I know.
It didn't
Yeah.
sound real. It
Yeah.
sounded like off of a movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you, like oh. Fuck.
That guy was
Well,
projecting big time. You could
Oh,
tell.
yeah.
It was so much more
It
than,
kind of
than the
felt like
merchandise.
he was trying to like reel it in. And,
Yeah.
like, you can tell he's like a deeply
Oh,
angry
yeah.
man.
And
He's like,
it's been bubbling up for a while
Oh,
now.
yeah.
It's just been waiting.
for my
waiting.
winter canoeing trip. You even care?
he was like, I don't expect to see you. I don't expect, you know, like, dude.
Did you ever call him back?
I mean, we
What
were talking
happened
about
with
this
it?
yesterday. That like, his gloves would have been replaced, no problem.
Yeah.
They'd been like, yeah, for sure. And then he'd be like, oh, I didn't have to call him back. Like I was.
Yeah.
That's right, it's
He
like,
wasn't French,
It's like
so.
so funny when somebody gets so mad at you and then you just respond with like ultimate kindness and they're like, oh, right. Great, thank you. And you're
Thank
like,
you.
you are so incredibly welcome.
Great.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's just like next. It's like that guy just has this idea about himself that it's like the entire world is against him. It's like, how could he ever
here's the thing.
think that something that he bought wouldn't work?
Do you want some insight on a man? For me, sometimes it does happen with guys. Like sometimes guys just like will think so intense about themselves, and I'm including me, that I just think everyone's focusing on me.
Mm-hmm.
But that it happens to guys sometimes. Like it's a
course.
thing, and I don't know why. Like maybe it's like a primitive thing, like when back in the day,
Like
when
Darwinian something.
yeah, or some shit. Like it's a primal thing. Like
Yeah.
I think it happens at certain points. It's like, why is everybody against me? It's like,
it's like, why? Stop it. But then you realize, oh wait, I'm
Yeah,
a
it's like-
person with
yeah.
a billion, like over 7 billion people
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
Calm your shit.
It's really like, don't flatter yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then it makes you humble, and then you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm back on track again. Let's go.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, and I always have to keep myself on check on that sometimes if I get really emotional, because I'll be like, oh wait, I need to calm down. We're all the same. Fucking relax. That's just being real for a bit there.
We did have like some weird customers too. This one guy, I'm not gonna tell the full story because it's a bit long, but this one guy sends 7 jackets. Like these jackets are expensive.
Yeah.
Sends 7.
Wow.
In a giant Huggies box. Obviously, he's from like the armpit of Quebec, and so it comes to me, and I'm like, all right. So I open this Huggies box, get out all these jackets, and people submit these claims online first, and then they get like an ID number that's associated with the jacket, and so you know like which jackets for what. So he has like a description, which is like my favorite part of anybody. Like all of them are like that, and they're trying to do the English and the typing like this,
Oh my God.
and it's like the best thing in the entire world. So like obviously I'd read all of them with like a Quebec accent, and like this is like my own. I was having my own kind of fun. Like
Gotta make the most of it.
and so I pick up this jacket and I like look at the claim description. It's like there was a burglary, jacket broken. And I was like. I'm sure the English was fine, but like I had to talk like that to make it like fun for me. You know? Yeah, I find my own fun.
That's
so
what you do.
I pick up the jacket. I'm like, okay, burglary. Did he steal it? Who stole it? Who's the burglar? Like, where are we? Like, what's the context here? Like, I need give me like I was trying to create this scene for myself.
You need more information.
With the burglary.
Yeah.
So
burglary.
I take the jacket out. It's like one of the most expensive ones. It's like $800 or $900.
Wow.
And I pick it up and I'm like, nothing's. It's like brand spanking new, like perfect. And I was like, okay, this is super weird.
Yeah.
So I pick it up and I open it. On the inside of the jacket, it looks like someone took an X-Acto knife and just like slashed the whole thing like 50 times, like perfectly, like in like all angled.
Yeah.
What? And I was like, what burglary? Do that. Like what?
Maybe
what?
they thought that they were hiding something inside the jacket.
This is what I'm thinking, or like he used it as a shield, and then
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah,
a
like, I went through every possible thing.
But the cut didn't go through the outside.
it
was
didn't, only in the inside.
So there's no force.
He's like, the jacket defective. I'm like, this is not a defect.
Oh, well, maybe he just did it on purpose. and
Yeah,
didn't- Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Anyways, long story short, turns out his contact number was prison.
Oh man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, long story. We'll do this another time.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
lol.
What?
I just said lol.
Oh lol. Wow.
LOL.
LOL.
Well,
LAWL.
how long is the podcast?
The guy actually just gave me the sign to end it soon, so we
Oh
gotta
wow!
go soon.
This is the first time we've done the
Yeah, we've never
podcast
gone
so
right so
long
far.
that it's
Well, there's
our time's up.
There's 4 voices, of course.
This was so
This
fucking
was so
awesome.
fun. We have to have you guys back. Would
Yes,
you come
you guys-
back?
Dude, we're in.
Oh, what's this? Oh, take a picture. Wait, what are we?
It's
Yeah.
for the
This is
gram.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess.
we have to pretend that we're talking.
Yeah,
If you-
this
you-
is no.
you've
This
gotta
is actually
gesticulate.
probably. We
Take
were
pictures
really
while they're
excited
talking.
yesterday
Yeah.
because we were like, "Yo, we're doing something brand new
Yeah,
tomorrow.
brand
Like we've
new.
never
Never done
done
anything.
anything like this."
Yeah,
and it's,
that's so
it's like
cool.
you reach like 26 and 27, and you're like. It's hard to come by those experiences.
Yeah.
But we were impressed because it's like, you meet people at parties and they're like, oh, great, yeah, we should go for coffee. And you're like, so that's a never.
Never
happened.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys were like, yo, you should be on our podcast.
And
we were
then
like,
you- and then you-
and then the follow through.
Yeah, you guys. I'd rather die than bail.
Yeah,
So
we are not
I really
bailers.
appreciate that you're on the same level.
I love
Yeah.
it.
No, that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
That was
He's
amazing.
been talking about you guys for a while.
I've been
now,
talking
so-
about you two for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my logic. Here's how I save myself from procrastination. I usually just keep saying it until it
Yeah.
happens.
Right.
So
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, guys, did you hear about, like, they're coming on, right? And then, like, they'll be like, yeah, okay, sure. Next week, guys, they're going to be coming on, right? Like, I know that they're going to be here. They're so funny. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like, that's my way
build
of, like,
up.
yeah,
Yep.
that's my way of, like, making sure it's going to happen. Like, another example is kind of pointless, but we want a TV that's on the wall. You know, those, like, little wall TV things?
yeah, yeah.
You're like, how the fuck can you do that, right? And then I just kept saying it. Justin kept saying it.
Foam.
And it happened. So that's my tradition.
When in doubt, foam.
But thank you guys.
Thank
So
you.
much.
Thank you
having
so
us.
much, guys.
And like Amanda just said, you're gonna probably come on again.
I hope so, because I feel like we have a lot more to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
And if
Oh, yeah. I gotta tell them all about my up north stories. Those are fun.
yeah.
and
Round
yeah,
two.
feel free if you guys
Sweet.
can't like manage to come at the same time. You
Yeah.
can come individually. It
Oh,
doesn't matter.
We don't do anything alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Fine.
Perfect.
Makes it better for us too. Then
It's a package deal.
all right.
Lesbian
So-
cousins.
So basically, thank you for. Thanks for being a part of our podcast, guys.
Yeah. Have a great fucking day.
Have a great fucking day. Also, just what's your Instagram,
Julia Quiggs.
And what's your Instagram?
Allie Brown 91.
There we
Whoa.
go.
Nice.
Just a plug.
Oh my
Are we-
god.
are we
Shit, now I
influencers?
gotta start posting.
Yeah. Have a great fucking day,
Yeah.
guys.
Have a great
Have a
fucking
great
day.
fucking day.
Bye.
Great
Bye.
fucking day.
Ah, fuck.